Jim Zorn became the latest NFL head coach hired this year. Zorn joined Baltimore's John Harbaugh, Atlanta's Mike Smith, Miami's Tony Sparano, and none of the new hires has previous NFL head coaching experience. So, Rob, let's turn our attention to these head coaches. Which one of these guys do you think has the best chance for success right now?
Well, without a doubt, John Harbaugh going to Baltimore. I mean, they went from 13-3, won the division, to playing very poorly last year. You turn a couple things around, you're back in the playoff. You got to find a quarterback to solidify that offense. I think they're mostly looking for a leader. Somebody that's going to tell them something, stick with it, in practice and in game plan, and they will respect that.
Is there a coach here on this list who has a long road to go to get his team in a position to be successful in the National Football League?
Well, I mean, you got to look at Miami, and you got to look at Atlanta, thinking they have a lot of work to do. They need not just one player, they need multiple players. So Mike Smith and Tony Sparano, they have their work cut out for them overall. But one thing I like about all these guys, they're all teachers, and they can teach their teams a philosophy. And I don't know a lot about Tony, but I know Bill Parcells. He's going to ask one thing from his coaches, to teach these guys a system, to teach them how to win. I know Mike Smith, he can do that. He did it with Jack Del Rio. He's going to be asked to do that again in Atlanta. If you're a good teacher, you can always put a good product on the field, which gives your team an opportunity to win football games.
Is this a trend, moving away from hiring big names and hiring coaches who are not necessarily well known, but maybe good football guys?
Well, I think it's a lost art. When you listen to a lot of people throughout the blogs and all that stuff, the internet, he's an X and O guy. Well, I think the teaching aspect of it is gone from the game today. And I think if you can find good teachers, that's why you always see New England there, and Indianapolis, and Jacksonville, and Seattle, because they have good teachers on their staff and as the head coach. And I think these guys are all good teachers. And if you can teach these guys the systems, teach them how to win, teach them, and what do I mean by teacher? If we have a slant, if our defensive line has to slant right, you can't step with your left foot first. You're going to be out of balance. You're going to be out of the gap eventually because somebody's going to push you off. You got to step with your right foot first. So good teachers are going to say, you need to do that right every single time we ask you to do this. And every single time if you do that, we'll be successful. That's a teacher. And I think these guys will do that, and they can rectify the problems they have right now in their organizations.
Going back to the fundamentals,
That's
basically.
Right.